Out of all the heroes in For Honor, Lawbringer is my favorite. And with the new For Honor and Destiny crossover, also brings forth a humongous update, with reworks to a bunch of the characters, including Lawbringer. This update was a complete surprise to me and others at how big and how much it really balanced the game. This massive change updated old characters that needed a touch-up, and updated some very annoying heroes, except the most recent edition. So before we can get into bashing the enemy's skulls in, we need to understand Lawbringer's punishes, feats, moveset, and his perks. After a parry, Lawbringer has 4 different punishes, 2 confirmed off of light parries: his light attack, his zone, his top heavy, and his impale. All of Lawbringer's heavy finishers are unblockable. His second heavy always has hyper armor. His light attacks are not interrupted. He has a confirmed light after a heavy attack, and he can chain a light finisher after his light parry. Lawbringer's combos consist of alternating lights and heavies, just heavies, and a 2 light heavy combo. Instead of a dodge attack, Lawbringer has a dodge bash, which I can say is actually really good. This video was in production a long time before the Destiny crossover was announced, and I had a bit where I was going to talk about how Lawbringer's dodge bash was inconsistent, but since then, he now has invincibility frames on his bash. That's right, Lawbringer did not have any invincibility frames on his bash information, stated from the devs themselves. But I digress. Let's talk about his previous update. Alongside his double light heavy combo, his update also allows him to shove on both heavies and lights. This allows for more aggression with Lawbringer and allows you to play more aggressively. You may be inclined to call him a bash bully now because he can just bash off both of his heavies and lights, but to that my response is, get good, kid. Now let's move to the more fun part of his character. Let's talk about his feats. Lawbringer has a large variety of feats that he can choose from. Some are passive, some are active. For level 1, he has Conquer, Harsh Judgment, and Body Count. For level 2, we have Righteous Deflection, Fiat Lux, and Juggernaut. Level 3 contains Protected Revive, Pugno Mortis, and Second Wind. And level 4 we have Igneous Ember, Catapult, and Regenerate. All of these feats are situational and are arguably subjective to each other, but the ones I would say that are really effective in Dominion is Conquer, for increased point capture and extended boosts. Level 2 would be Juggernaut, for the 10 seconds of feeling like Hitokiri, literally. Level 3 is Protected Revive, because that 75 HP shield would give your teammates a fighting chance. And level 4 would be Igneous Ember, 4 bombs that do a bunch of damage, and it makes me say my favorite phrase. He doesn't know this trick! I don't always run these 4 feats all the time, mostly because I kind of forget to use feats more than half the time I play Dominion. But this is just preference, so take my words with a grain of salt. I'm going to start talking about perks now, or also known as the gear of your character. Now just a little disclaimer, this part of the guide is not required at all to play Lawbringer, nor are you required to build up your perks to become better. Perks supplement your skill level with buffs or features in certain situations. Personally, I'd say just go for drip until you get higher level gear and equipment. The gear rarity and distribution of perk points on the wiki is more than enough to give me a fucking aneurysm. All of Lawbringer's perks sound very good in hindsight, and they are very good in practice. These are his perks. The 3 main ones you should go for in Dominion is Bastion, Vengeful Barrier, and Last Stand. These 3, in my opinion, are the best when they are all activated at the same time. Bastion gives you 10% damage resistance whenever you are in a zone, but you are almost always fighting in zones in Dominion. Last Stand. When you are in critical health, or when the edge of your screen has blood around it, you gain 40% damage resistance. This sounds useless because critical health is about 1 or 2 heavies away from getting executed, but it is worth it because this applies to shields, which brings up our third and final perk, Vengeful Barrier, which after Revenge, you gain a 25 health shield for 15 seconds. Under the right circumstances, these 3 perks can be active at the same time, which gives you 50% damage resistance. Let that sink in. These perks are almost always active due to how Dominion plays, which is exactly why these perks are perfect. Now, let's ditch the numbers and percentages and move to the executions. In my opinion, the Impaler is the first execution you should prioritize when you aren't spending your steel on bling. It's the fastest execution with a very stable health gain to keep you fighting. Each Lawbringer has to have at least 1 choking execution. That's all I really got for executions you should get. All of executions for Lawbringer are stunning and captivate just how much of a badass he is, either utilizing his overwhelming strength or his weapon to the fullest. That's where we conclude this guide. Thank you so much for watching to the end of my video. I hope you all enjoyed and had a good time watching. I know I did. If you do want to see more content like this, like, comment, and subscribe. If this gets a lot of traction, I will create another video with another character. Until then, have a good rest of your day.